continuing with my colonies videos, let's talk about top 10 colonies. And it's top 10-ish because there's 11 colonies, and I'm not going to leave the 11th out because I'm obviously ranking it 11th if it's not in the top 10. So it's really a top 11. But yeah, we're gonna do the honorable or dishonorable mention first. So at 11th, or the dishonorable mention, Europa. This colony is just weird, and I will say, like, it's worth placing a colony at least if you're gonna do a standard plate ocean early, which is already probably not very likely. So there aren't many reasons really to do a standard plate ocean early. It's usually a bad play, but if you are, it's definitely better to place it for one less, it is one less cash, and someone might trade there at some point, so you get one cash there too every time. So maybe like 2 or 3 less cash altogether. But that's the best I can say for Europa. The energy production is usually not worth it because you usually already have 3 energy if you're trading, which is the main reason you'd want more energy production in colonies. And you're better off trading everywhere else. Like, most colonies will give you more than 7 cash once you're set up with your colony, like a better value than that. So I don't know. I don't like the energy production. The plant production might be worth it. Maybe in games where there's a lot of players and the good colonies are gone, but this is the worst colony, so all colonies are better colonies. But yeah, really weird colony. I rarely use it. And one of the problems is, like, it really doesn't scale up towards the end. Like, they're all worth it at the end. Like, this one is still 1 plant production. Like, if it was 2, I would understand it. Okay, number 10. You might be surprised that I didn't put Io here. I'm putting Callisto. And the reason for that is that Callisto, to me, ends up being like a bad Io. It does have 1 more on the colony bonus, but it also has 1 less on the 4th and 5th step. Like, below the 4th and 5th you're not trading, so who cares. It's the same on the 6th and 7th, but it is less on the 4th and 5th. So if you want, like, that sort of offsets the colony bonus, and it's a little worse because I really don't recommend placing a colony here or on Io for that matter. But let's talk about Callisto first. Again, if you already have the energy to trade, you don't really need the energy. You can trade for heat, but then you might as well trade with Io, which gives you about as much, right? So for those reasons, I think Callisto is a bit weak. Like, heat is the weakest resource in the game, even including like the non-standard resources in the other colonies, and Callisto just does it worse than Io because it's often less. I still don't recommend a colony there, and it takes a turn more to get it. Also, it doesn't help you with Thermalist, which is one of the big things Io does do. Which brings us to a number 9, and okay, here it is, Io. Okay, Io, I'm sorry, it's just heat. It provides great value, actually. Like, after the 8th spot, trade with Io. If it gets to 13, even better. But at that spot, it's tradable. Like, 1 trade for a immediate heat step, worth it. But besides that, it's not really worth it. The colony bonus, like the 1 heat production, it's not worth it usually, and the extra heat that you get, you're not going to trade here often. So it's just too weak. These first 3 or these bottom 3 colonies are the ones where I really don't recommend ever placing a colony, except in very specific situations for Europa, like I said. So yeah, the problem with Io, like, I think it's more balanced than the other ones, but it's just that it's heat, and heat is a sort of a specific strategy. It does provide a plant rusher with an alternative, but other than that, I don't. Yeah, it's a weak resource. Next up at number 8, Triton. And Triton is weird because it doesn't give you production for the bonus. I think maybe they thought titanium was too powerful for 1 production, but which I understand, but they balance the rest of the colony. as if. So if you compare Triton to Luna, obviously Luna being the more flexible resource, you'd expect Triton to give you more net money, but it doesn't. Consistently, Luna gives you more than 3 times the titanium, which just makes Triton really weak. People don't often like placing colonies in it because, like, the fact that the colony bonus is also a bit weak and not really time sensitive. Because, like, production you want early. 3 titanium, that's worth 3 titanium at any stage in the game. So, like, if you're gonna prioritize one colony, it's gonna be the ones with productions first. But that also makes Triton's cycle to be longer, and those first spots are horrible. You're not gonna even trade 3 energy for 3 titanium. It's not worth it. And the max you can get is 5. It takes like all day to get there. I rarely see colonies there. I do trade on 4 on 5. Sometimes 5 definitely, 4 usually, 3 feels like a waste. But yeah, I just don't recommend Triton at all. Okay, at number 7, Enceladus. Okay, Enceladus, again, I think we're starting to get into the colonies where Triton maybe, if you have a heavy space strategy or something like Phobolog, where you have the bonus, or advanced alloys. Enceladus, you do want to place the colony if you get a couple of things. So what you want is usually an early good microbe card, and then you can play the economy early. And ideally you want a microbe point card late. So it helps to have Venus a lot for Enceladus, because you have a couple of like Extremophiles is 1 to 3, which is not great. But Venusian insects is 1 to 2, which is great. In the base game, you only have ants for 1 to 2. You have a couple of 1 to 3s, like decomposers. And then there's like the turn ones, the oxygen ones, but the decomposers being the main one. But yeah, but you'd want an economy one first, and those are pretty much psychrophiles and sulfurian bacteria. If you get either one of these cards early, Enceladus is great. Like it's actually giving you a decent amount of money per trade if you put your colony there. Like, if you have your colony there and you trade every other turn, I don't recommend like this being like your every turn go to. Like, it's not that good. It's only on the 7th. But if you go every other turn, you're getting 4 microbes a turn, which is 8 cash for psychrophiles, 12 cash for sulfur. And you already have 3 from the initial colony, which is a nice early boost, even though, again, it's not as time sensitive for the same reasons that Triton isn't either. And then again, if you get it in 2 points, then this consistently gives you like 2 points. Like, you can get this to give you on a 1 to 2 2 points. It's a decent colony to double up on, which is not the case for any of the previous ones. If you have a 1 to 2 micro card, like if you get 2 colonies there, your second colony you probably get the bonus on the point card, which is 1.5 points, which is not bad, and then you're getting an extra microbe, and you're probably hitting 4 easily, at least every other turn, plus 2 colony bonus 6. That's 3 points per trade. That's totally worth it. Okay, next up at number 6 is Miranda. And Miranda, it's weird. It does have, I think, a higher ceiling than Enceladus. The big disadvantage that it has with respect to Enceladus is that it's really rare to find a microbe economy card. There's like that one, the combo with like Food Factory, I think it's called. No, Food Factory is a horrible card. The one that every time you get an animal, you see cash. But you need 2 cards. You need like Pets and Food Factory. So it's not a good colony early. This is, like, I would say most likely you don't place a colony here for 5 generations. It is good late, and it is okay to double up if you get a 1 point animal like mid-late game. If you, like, again, it benefits from Venus. If you hit the Venusian animals or stratophic birds, which can be like they can be played decently early with Venus or something like Penguins with ecology experts as Prelude or something like that, then fine. But well, otherwise the point ratio honestly never gets good enough, and you can double up. The advantage of double up is that you're hitting the two animals and two cards every time, which is 2 points and two cards. You take that, right? And most people don't want to get there. If they do, they give you two cards. The colony bonus is really nice. And that's why the double up is fine. And that and the fact that if you don't, you have to wait an extra turn to get two because it's 0, 1, 1, 2, right? So if there's only one colony there, then you have to wait. If there's a second colony there from someone else, then you're getting two every other turn because they're probably trading two and you're both getting cards every turn, so that's fine. It like I said, it's good late, but like the investment of a colony in the last generation, for example, wouldn't be worth it, right? Because you're getting one more point and one card for 17. It's not worth it. So you like it has to be there. It has a very specific scenario where you play an animal, pretty much, I don't know, like 3 generations before the end, and then you can get a little out of it. And like I said, the double up because of the bonus is a little better than you'd expect. But I really wish they gave it the colony bonus animal though. I really wish they had. I don't think it would have been broken. Okay, moving on to the top 5, and at 5th I have Ceres. Now, unlike Triton, Ceres, like if you check Luna, Ceres, it's more than double what Luna gives you, which makes sense because it's a it's a less flexible resource, so you get more of it to balance it, right? And unlike Triton, like you actually think about, do I go to Ceres early instead of Luna? Actually, you don't, but it's closer. But yeah, Ceres is pretty good. The fact that the colony bonus is like 4 total, it's really nice. And so that here it's totally worth placing a colony, because when this thing hits like 6, someone's trading with it and you're getting to steal, it'll pay back super quickly because you'll also be producing steel from the beginning. The one thing is, like, I think this is a really bad colony to double up because you'll be swimming in steel and you overdid it, right? So even though I like the first colony better on Ceres, I like the doubling up better on Enceladus and Miranda. Never double up on Ceres. In fact, if you get Ceres, you get one more steel production at most. Because you'll be trading there occasionally, and people will be trading there if you're not, and giving you 2 steel like decently. You don't want more than 2 steel production with that. If your mining guild, for example, don't touch this colony, it's useless for you. It's something that you kind of have to learn to balance a little bit. But yeah, I think this is the perfect definition of 1 colony great or very good, 2 colonies terrible, you overdid it and you're gonna be swimming in steel and won't know what to do with it. Yeah, okay, moving on to number 4. And these are the colonies that, well, I guess you could include Ceres in that, but honestly, if I don't get any of the remaining 4, I'm kind of like bummed out about that game. Because there's no, like, Ceres is very good early, but not good late. Right, because you don't need the steel late. And you want some of the late colonies there, because that's when most of the trading and the competition happens, which is what makes colonies so good. So if none of the top 4 are in, it makes for a very, very underwhelming colony game, to be honest. But let's begin with number 4, and that's Ganymed. Ganymed, it's pretty linear. It's the only one where it's like 1 step per, from 0 to 6. 1 plant income, 1 colony bonus. It's like, like the blueprint for a colony, and it's very good because you place 1 colony here. You're getting 2 plants every trade if you go there every turn. Your colony bonus, you're getting 4 plants a turn with 1 colony and 1 trade per turn, just by yourself, which is half a grade, which is absolutely worth it. For a plant player, like the fact that you can save your plants, it's obviously great. Every time you go first, you usually just trade with Ganymed, and you get 3 extra plants plus the 1 you produced. that's usually enough to set you up for a greenery if you're a plant player, and like you can prevent your plants from being blown up whenever you're first player. Guaranteed. Like I know there's a lot of ways to do that with oceans and other good cards in the base game, but Ganymede just makes that like a fact. And it's also like giving you half a point and development from the beginning every turn. I absolutely do think you can go to Ganymede early, even if you're not like plant production. Like 1 production for 17 sounds steep, but you're really getting 4, and you're likely to be hitting it alone many times because, well, people usually like there's varying investments. If there's 2 people on it, then you're both getting 5 plants extra per turn, which is really good. Ganyemede is a colony where I can absolutely can double up. If you double up early, you get 2 plant production. You're hitting 3 every turn plus 2 colony bonus. That's 7 plants. That's like an equal and greenery every turn if you manage to double up early on it. Which you could argue is overdoing if you're ecoline. But for other corps that don't have the initial 2 plant production and the cheap greeneries, this is enough to place 1 greenery per turn and an amazing way to rush the game. Like this is a great for example, Halion to be on the game. And this is a colony that you use from beginning to end every game without fail pretty much if there's a plant player. From mid to game, like no one focuses really on plants early, but like it's one of those like you always see traits there if you're there, which is again Ceres is kind of like that, but like to the beginning half of the game instead of the end. Okay, moving on to number 3. Okay, at number 3, Titan. And I love Titan. It's a little worse on the numbers than Enceladus, but floaters are just a much better resource with so many better possibilities. You have way more economy cards. So you have Titan shuttles, which just gives you a ton of titanium. You have things like local shading, which you can dump microbes like crazy into local shading because you can only use 1 per turn. Same thing with like Atmo collectors. But like if you have somewhere else to dump them while you dump the 1 on the colony bonus there, they're great. And the social dirigibles is another one where you can dump a bunch of floaters and just get a ton of cash later. And you have a nice combo, especially with like Titan floating launchpad, which it lets you trade for 1 floater. So you can trade there and always put the bonus floater on it when you're empty. And that way you can trade the next turn, right? It's a great interaction that you have with that one. I really like that card. You have other economy cards like Jupiter Floating Station, which is not really very good, but they all combo with other cards later on. And then you have Cargo, which is something that microbes don't do at all. So you have more economy cards, and you have Aerial Mappers and Red Spot Observatory, which both like let you remove a floater to draw cards. And then you have the point dumps. There's few again. You have Stratopolis, which is bad, and you have 2 that are 2 per Jovian Lanterns, and Floating Haps. Right, so those 2 are 1 per 2, so these are like your late game dump every floater here, and then use all the cards that build economy to dump here as well. And yeah, it's a great payoff, and they're, in my opinion, easier to play than the Venus ones. Venusian insects, because Venus may not get terraformed. Ants is quite easy to play, but it doesn't play on itself, which is always a disadvantage. And this one don't like the 2 science tags on Floating Hubs and the Jovian tag on Jovian Hunters. You'll meet that. There are other point cards like Titan Air Scraping, but you actually need you can't dump a ton of floaters on that one, so it's not as good, right? So yeah, because you have a much you can use him a lot for economy, a lot for drawing, and having the colony bonus, just that interaction where the cards where you need 1, which could be the drawing ones or local shading or Titan floating launchpad, while you dump things on things like Titan shuttles and dirigibles. It's awesome. It is dependent. It's not a colony that everyone uses, and you only double up here if you get Jovian lanterns or floating hubs. Otherwise, you don't. You're gonna be left with a bunch of floaters that you don't know what to do with. If you do, though, doubling up is great. Usually, your second colony you put it after you play the point card, so you'll get 3 points immediately. Sorry, 1.5 points immediately, and then you'll be trading if no one's disturbing you for 4 floaters in return, which is 2 points, which is usually what you get on the microbe and animals. Microbe can get you 3. But just because the beginning is so much better, I like Titan better. It's also floaters are fun, and I love floaters, so that might be it. And they combo with Jovians, which I also love. Let's talk about the top two, and I gotta say that the top two are just separate from everything else. Like, I mean, Ganymed is pretty the third most, where I would say okay, everyone can use this. It's just the ceiling late game. You're still usually under a point per trade. Titan, I rank it higher because you can consistently get 2 per trade. These two colonies, though, everyone's gonna trade with them, and the thing about a colony being generically good is that it becomes so much good because once you have 3 colonies there, they're hitting much higher numbers every turn. So, these generic colonies are like not good just for being generic, but because they're gonna be better always. Right? So Luna, number 2, and I'm not it took me a while. Luna is my number 2. I might place here first, though, and in games with more than 4 players, I feel like I would just fuck over the 4th player and just he doesn't get a colony. If you can double up on your first turn with a research colony or that other card that's awesome, do it. I would totally do it. It's totally worth it. People will be trading there every turn. If they don't, then you do it, right? And if you're alone there with 2 colonies, you already got 4 production. And then you're hitting 7 plus 4 every turn, which is 11. You can trade with cash there and just get 2 cash. And it even before the energy is worth it, right? But the reality is it's gonna have 3 colonies early. People will trade there with cash just because it'll pay back, right? Anyone with a colony there, if there's 3 colonies, you're getting 10 plus 2, you're getting 12. So that's usually what you get. You're getting 3 cash and you're preventing your opponents from not getting it. So it might not be the beast early, but if it's available, you'll do it. And once you get energy, it's crazy. 3 energy for 12 cash every turn is crazy. If you get one of those cards that lets you trade 1 spot higher, then it's even crazier. And it's just cash is just a resource that every strategy uses cash. There's no strategy that doesn't want cash, and so it's the most generic colonies. Therefore, it's the first one to go. I don't think it has the ceiling that number 1 has, which has a lot of the same features. But cash being the most generally used resource in the game, Luna usually gets 3 colonies, and that's why it's my number 2. And my number 1, of course, is Pluto. So Pluto gives you cards. The 2 cards on the colony are pretty good. You do need to be careful and manage your economy. Make sure you can afford the trades. Unlike Luna, you're not gonna because in Luna, who cares? You pay 9, you get 12. Still positive. That's a no-brainer. But Pluto, you can't commit suicide with Pluto. You overdraw and start paying for trades with 9 cash. You don't have to with Pluto. You can wait a little more, but you have to be careful because if you're pushed out of Pluto, then it's a big disadvantage. And once you get to that 5th step where you're hitting 3 cards and then a draw and a discard because of your bonus, you just see in the whole deck. You're gonna find every combo. And it sort of forces the other players to do it too, right? Because you have someone getting 4 cards per game effectively, right? Because you draw 4 cards, you discard one, you're gonna have one of those 4s to discard. It's Mars. A lot of cards are I would say there's a 50% ratio on better than average cards. So like, who cares about the discard? Yeah, once you get to 3, which is when everyone has 3 colonies there, or if you have one of those +1, it's broken. On 2 is already very good, and it'll be on 2 with 1 colony there. Right? As soon as you get your colony there, it's going to 2 every step, and so you're drawing 3 cards and discarding 1 every turn, which is, like, it's AA Central. It's better than AA Central, and it's cheaper. So, not going to Pluto is like having like AI Central in your hand and deciding not to play it. That's what not going to Pluto is. This is why this is the best colony in the game. Cards, like getting turn for cards is not something that goes with rushing. But if Pluto is in the game, I would just tell you not to rush. That's the truth. It's harder to rush with colonies anyway because of all the space cards that really don't terraform. They really dilute the asteroids. But yeah, Pluto just it goes with every strategy except rushing, which is not that viable. And like if you're like you still want to get a colony there if you're rushing probably. I know it's not very efficient, but I could not place a colony in Pluto. The one thing I say is I do see people commit like card suicide and overdraw and not be able to play anything because they killed their economy. So maybe Luna first, like if they're both in. Otherwise, yeah, best colony in the game, Pluto. Alright, I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know what you think, and see you next time.